Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Missed you guys last week, man. Missed you guys. Had to get away for a little bit and enjoyed my time away. And I trust that you guys have had a phenomenal last couple of weeks. I'm trying to get my head out of the way so you can see what we're going to be talking about today. And I can't seem to figure out how to do that. There we go. Identify your I. And we're going to get into that. I am super, super duper excited about some stuff going on. Listen, I just wanted to share with you guys within the next probably 3 weeks, I will do another book release. This book is entitled It's Only a Suggestion. If you believe it, you become it. And it will be in stores near you soon. I'm going to do a book release over the next few weeks, and I'll keep you posted as to when and where that's going to be. Super excited about it, and I just want you guys to get it. And this is an adult book. This is not a children's book. This is an adult book. Again, the title of it is It's Only a Suggestion. We talked about that several, I don't know, week or year, not week, but several months, perhaps a couple of years ago. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get it launched. I'm excited to get it out there and get it in your hands. It's only a suggestion. The subtitle is If You Believe It, You Become It. And we're going to talk about that in the book. And next week, when I get my hands on the first copy, I'll share it with you a little bit, and then I'll let you know how it can be purchased and when and where we're going to do the book launch. Okay. I appreciate you guys joining me. Denise, LaWanna, thank y'all. Catherine, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you just for joining me. Listen, hey, Benny, today we're going to start this month talking about identifying your I. And I think that a lot of who we are has been so pre-programmed as we have matriculated. One of the things that I have learned probably in the last 6 to 8 months, just reading some different authors and psychologists, different works in some journals and things like that, is how from birth to 7 years old, we are programmed into being the adult that you are going to be. And that just simply blew my mind. When you are programmed, your brain is still forming up until you're about 7 years old. There's a saying, and it's Eastern part of the world, China. I think it's a monk or whatever that says, "Show me the boy and I'll show you the man." And all they have proven, both scientifically and theoretically and psychologically, is the fact that from birth until 7 years old, that we have been programmed with different types of thoughts and beliefs that will form and shape the way we matriculate into adulthood. Again, that is mind-boggling to me. And the more I thought about it, I've thought, like, no, that's not possible. But you think about it, your parents, your grandparents, your cousins, your siblings, your teachers and preachers, and all of these people that you spend the most time around that are pouring into you, their beliefs, their limiting beliefs, their thoughts, their patterns, their traditions, their rituals are all being instilled in you at an early age. And that's why some of us struggle through life, because we've been taught what is good and bad. And if anybody questions that or challenges that, it puts us in a place of insecurity. We've been taught that we look good or don't look good, but it's all based off of somebody else's standards. So what we're going to spend the next few weeks talking about is how to identify the I of me. That is the I. It's called in the Bible the I of man. And that is what I think that we need to spend some time talking about and teaching and getting people to know who they truly are. I think we are so overwhelmed sometimes trying to please people, trying to please society, trying to do what we think is supposed to be done. And we put so much pressure on us because the reality is we've been taught by a certain age you're supposed to finish high school. By another age, you're supposed to finish college. By another age, you're supposed to start this life of being married and having children. By another age, you're supposed to start planning for retirement. By another age, you're supposed to do all of these. So we have been programmed into thinking based on societal norms that this is where my life is supposed to go. This is how my life is supposed to end up. And because of that, it puts all of that undue stress and pressure on us, trying to be like what we have been taught to be. And very few people, in my opinion, very few people are brave and courageous enough to develop that I that's on them. Doris Cannon speaks. She does a lot of regression therapies, trying to get you to go back to that inner child. I know a lot of times on YouTube, on TikTok, there's so many psychiatrists and psychologists that go back and they call it shadow work because they take you back to those places in your childhood, places where you were felt like you were not coddled enough, or you didn't get enough attention. And excuse me, you got all of these issues that are happening as an adult, but it's being proven that the derivative of all of these issues as an adult started when you were a child. And I think going back and trying to identify, like, some of us have abandonment issues. Some of us have attachment issues. Some of us have detachment issues. And all of these issues that we deal with that messes with our relationships, that messes with our work habits, that messes with so much about us as adults, all started when we were children. And I think that we need to go back to a place, each one of us individually, myself included, and that's what I've been working on, is going back and see why. Why is this a trigger for me? Why does this make me sad when I hear it? When somebody do this, I think I was sharing with you guys several weeks ago, I remember talking about how when I go into a store and being 6'3" and as big as I am, like when you don't acknowledge my presence, sometimes, not that I think I'm all of that, but just the fact I need you to look at me and say, I'll be right with you. Give me a second. Let me finish with them. When I don't get that, and I feel like I'm not being seen. And that had to have come from somewhere. So back in my childhood, back in my formative years, was I ignored? I don't know. I can't say, but I don't feel that I was. I felt like I was heard. I was the youngest kid. So most people say that the youngest kid gets all of the attention, yada, yada. So I don't know where it came from. I just need to be acknowledged, my presence to be identified. So that came from somewhere. So that's one thing that I've been working on. Cameron has a way of triggering me sometimes with his attitude. Where did that come from? Like, the back and forth. I want him to express himself to me, but sometimes he does it in such a way that it becomes a trigger. So where did that come from? And so I think that once we all go back to where the foundation of our anger, of our insecurities, of our bitterness, of our not being brave or courageous, if we go all the way back, as far back as we can go and get to the very root of the why, that's a trigger for us, and why certain people, certain personalities, certain demeanors do something to me. Why am I always attracted to this kind of person? Where in my history it allowed me to feel either comfortable or feel intimidated or feel stressed when I'm around a certain personality. So all of this stuff. And I think it all starts with identifying the I that you are, the very solar aspect of you. And I'm not talking about the physical, I'm talking about your soul, that spirit that's you, that's inside the body, and that's what this is about. How do you identify that I that's in you, and be able to take that, and instead of it being a trigger, you notice it, and it doesn't stress you. It doesn't make you mad. You learn how to get control because you've gone back and you fixed it. You realize, okay, this was what started all of this. The first girlfriend I had in the fourth grade or the fifth grade, she was the one that told me that I would never get a girlfriend. All of this stuff. Do you see how that happens, and it carries with us these little things that causes imprints, mental imprints that we carry around with us. And I think it all comes from us not knowing who we truly are, because once you know who you truly are as a person, as a spirit, as a soul, then very few external stimuli can get to you. At least that's it for me. The more I get to know who I am, the more I realize I have the control and the power as to how to respond or react to what's happening on the outside of me. I learned that it doesn't, like my reacting, getting angry, getting bitter, getting frustrated, feeling insecure, I have control over that. And it's not until I have identified who I am. When I identify who I am, then nobody else can put labels on me. Nobody can put stigmas on me and all of this stuff. So I encourage you. Denise says, I understand knowing the why is important, but do you think learning the I you want to be is important? If so, how do you move forward in making your life better in the now or the present? Absolutely. I think knowing who you are now, Denise, I think that you can't know fully who you are now until you realize who you were then, if that makes sense. Your present I is all a culmination of the I that you were back then. Think about it. There are certain things that you were taught in your family that's indicative only to your family, and you've been raised with that. Does it make it right for everybody else? It doesn't, but that's what you've been taught. So when you learn that this is why I am like I am today, because of the I that you used to be, you can take the I of today and say, do I want to remain this way? Do I still want to maintain these limiting beliefs? Do I still want to maintain these thoughts and these thought patterns that say, I can't do it, I can't be it, I can't have it? Or do I want to embrace the new I that I am discovering as I have evolved into a higher thinking individual? Deontay says, what do you do when you feel like you lost yourself, and how do you refine yourself again? I've been dealing with some things, and it's like I'll get myself back together, but then I feel like I'm losing myself again. So how do I find myself again? I think that, Deontay, when it comes to losing yourself, what is causing you to lose yourself? Are you trying to be what people expect you to be? Are you trying to do what people expect you to do? Are you falling within the parameters of what society says this is where you should be right now? When you lose yourself, it comes with so much. And I don't think you can lose yourself once you find out who you truly are. Once you find out who you truly are, you can't lose yourself, because you realize that, okay, I hear what you're saying. This is what you think. I get it. However, this is who I know I am. You can call me short all day long. And to some people, NBA players, I am short, but I know that that's not my story, because I know how tall I am. Does that make sense? So that's a weak example, but I think you get the point. When you truly know who you are, like who you are in the physical, how much you weigh, what size clothes to go by. So you. The point that I'm making is you've got to know yourself on a spiritual or soul level just that well. You've got to understand that you don't have to live life within the parameters or the box that people have put you in. And I think that when you start down this path or journey of self-discovery, identifying your I think it starts, you realize that the shackles will start being, they'll just automatically fall off. The shackles will just automatically just like loose themselves when you realize who you are and the power and the authority that you have over your life. And that's all I'm saying. Because for me, the more I get to know me, the less I care about the opinions of other people. The more I get to know me, the more powerful and confident I feel. The more I get to know me, the less I realize that people have power over me. I realize it's all a choice. So all I'm saying is that I think that you need to get to a place where you take some time to reflect, journaling, meditating. All of that will help you get to a place that you get to know who you are. All right. Listen, I'm going to stop there. I appreciate you guys for coming. I hope that helps. If not, write down some more questions because I love talking and going back and forth with you guys with that. Write down some questions as to what we can talk about as it regards to regarding to identifying your I. And we'll talk more about it next week. All right. Don't forget, I'll let you know next week for sure when the book will be released and when we'll be having a little signing party and all of that stuff. I'm super excited about this one more than I've been on any other book that I've written. I'm really, really excited. I know that it's going to have a phenomenal impact in the lives that it touches and the people who read it. I know it is. I have no doubt. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk again next week. All right. Bye.